That's Jeff McNeil on the bass there. Yeah. Hi. So I was a little silly. Uh, I I started playing without streaming. I was like, it's so late. I'm probably gonna suck. I'll just I'll just go ahead and stream later. I'll play some games on my own. And I like won. So after winning this game, I decided I'm gonna do that whole thing where like it's safe and I've already won the game, but I'm gonna show it anyway. Cause you gotta take them, man. You gotta take the wins when you got them. You know what I'm saying? Right. For today, we're gonna be hooking it up. Um, where's my thing? Sorry. We're gonna be hooking it up with line 39, the Cabernet Sauvignon, or as they say it where I'm from, Cabernet Sauvignon. It's pretty good. Indeed, and I have a dainty glass. I figured, for most people in the world, most people, I'm just talking out of my ass right now. It's 5 in the morning here, and if it's early for you, it's earlier for me. On your way to work, listening to me rant about chess, probably not. That's probably not what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Megan is potentially asleep for this one. I may have stayed up past even her bedtime. If you don't know, Megan is usually on the stream, on the chat. I think she's maybe missed one time that I've done this, and this is the 18th occurrence of this. I was thinking about doing it every day, and in fact, that's what it says in the title cards. But I can't be bothered to change those. I actually think every day is maybe a bad move. I think allowing all the chess theory and the games and such to actually soak in, I think that's a good idea. Where the fuck am I going to put this bottle? Did a bunch of shit today. This is all the intro. This is all the intro. Don't worry about it. Did a bunch of shit today. I got some wine, as you see. I did a bunch of work. So I do some audio booking, meaning that doesn't sound right. I do some audio books, some narration of books, whatever that's called. And I got finished with this book that I'm doing. It's Logan Nance's, that's the author, Saturday Shepherd and the World Beyond. And I actually finished all of the book, all of the recording, and now I'm in the post production, the editing, processing. Finished chapter 1. Sounds good. In the description here, not that it has anything to do with chess whatsoever, but it does have to do with editing and such. I'll post some of maybe a playlist or something of the YouTube people that I've been looking at. I'd like to give them props. This has nothing to do with chess. It's 5 in the morning. I'm drinking wine. Wine. Okay. Hi, I'm Bill. I do this live stream where I sometimes play chess and oftentimes bullshit. If you have any desire to jump on the chat, please do. If you have not liked or subscribed or followed or whatever it is, do the free thing. It'd be awesome. If you dig what I'm doing, do that. There's possibly links in the description. I don't know if I've actually set it up. Right now I'm streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. Previously I was doing it all on YouTube, and I realized through a little tiny bit of research that maybe Twitch is just better for the long form streaming content. And then I can shove the videos to YouTube and do all the hell of YouTube shorts and all that crap. Anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. The reason I'm saying it is, one, because I'm tired and ranting. Two, is because I want to give a shout out to Restream.io. These people, I've used them several times. Restream.io. It's a shout out. In the event that you are a podcaster or you want to do, I'm not being sponsored, by the way, yet. But I want to give these guys some love. In the event that you want to stream to multiple services, they're a good one to use. They're based out of Ukraine. I don't know if they've moved their offices or not. Regardless, there you go. And it seems to work pretty well. So, yeah. Right, if you're lurking in the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat, please say lurking or something. It actually helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. What are you drinking this early in the morning on your way to work? A cup of coffee, I hope. Perhaps for some reason I have like one of those canned teas in my head. What do people drink in the morning? I don't know. I'm never awake in the morning. Why? I just don't want to, man. I've never been a morning person. I'm a nocturnal beast. It may be not nocturnal, crepuscular. All right. So I guess I'm going to show you this freaking chess game. You'll note that I'm not diamond. I'm the little star dude. Show your flair is what it says. So my rating right now is 1296. The goal is to get to 2,000. Why? Because everybody else is doing it. And I figured, why not? I should actually give another shout out to the Patreon people. Daniel Holker, Narrative NPC, and Tim Roberts, Recurring Star. If you go to Dreadlore, patreon.com/Dreadlore. I'm going to post that right now. Oh, how do you type? I don't know how to. That's the Patreon. I'm probably going to make a separate Patreon for this channel, but for right now, that's what that one is. That is the catch-all for my projects. So I'm an actor and a filmmaker. That directly helps that. I also created this game. You probably can't see it. Hold on. This t-shirt. Can you see this t-shirt? Probably not. God damn it. I'm seeing it on the delay. Wrong way. There it is. Yeah, see that skull? Right, that's called Dreadlore. It's a tabletop role-playing game. Anyway, on Mondays, we do a live stream, and it's a Dreadlore live stream. It's an alternative to Dungeons and Dragons. No beef with D&D, that's a lie. But Dreadlore it's a different beast, and it's very good, and you should try it if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, that's what I got. We'll be sponsored today by... I need some Irish adages for... I don't know why. I'm descent Irish. Irish adages for being up really late and out of your goddamn mind. That's where I am right now. Played some music today. It was awesome. Yep, that's what we got. We'll get to chess. Chess is going to happen. That's actually what this channel's about. So many thoughts going through the brain at the same time. This is why I didn't stream earlier, the game, because I was thinking surely I'm going to lose horribly. I've been playing... When I do white, I have chosen to use the English opening. We'll actually start the real stream now. The English opening starts with C4. So the pawn, the queen's pawn. It's not the queen's pawn, it's that pawn on the side, C4. And I like it because I like the Queen's Gambit. Now, I've only seen 2 or 3 episodes of the actual show, The Queen's Gambit. I like the Queen's Gambit prior. And I think I liked the English because it wasn't E4. And when I was a kid and I learned chess, and I think I was better, uh, all I did was E4, and I never knew why. I was just told this is how you play it, and I was like, okay, that's it, right? Don't back row mate me. Anyway, I've been playing a lot of English, and I figure I'm just going to keep on doing that. I know it's a bit of an annoying opening, um, but you can transpose into a lot of different things. You can kind of do your own jam. And honestly, I'm doing it just to stick with it, to learn an opening. On black, as you shall see, I have been using the Sicilian. Now, why? The reason is this. Because everyone says not to. It's pretty much it. Uh, yeah, there you go. Like, if someone's like, you should really not use that opening, then I'm like, really? Go fuck yourself. You can use it at the low end, at the high end of ratings. I think it's really interesting. It's supposed to be a really good response to E4. And from what I've heard from, Agamator and all those guys, even Gotham Chess, all those people, E4, if you let the engines play, I think technically Gotham Chess is who said this, I think. If you let engines play, then they'll just do E4, E4, E5 every fucking game, because apparently it's like the best one. Anyway, the Sicilian's cool. It's a flank maneuver. I dig it. It also goes into my favorite defense, which is the Sicilian Dragon. And I don't really know how to play it. Never did. I just think it's cool because it has dragon in the name. And I like fianchettos. Wow, fianchetto is a word. It's not fianchetto. It's not fiancetta. It's fianchetto. Okay, for decades, I've been saying fianchetto. I'm a little embarrassed. Then again, where I come from, people say warsh. There's nothing wrong with warsh. We also say Athens and Versailles, so fianchetto is maybe not the worst thing you can say. Regardless, I was watching Anna Cramling's channel, if that's how you pronounce her name. A lovely seeming, I've never met the person, lady who's really good at chess, and her parents are really good at chess. You should check out her channel if you haven't checked it out. If you're watching this, you likely do watch chess, and so, of course, these people, everyone that I've mentioned, they have hundreds of thousands of followers. So, you've heard of them. Anyway, she was explaining, I think, to one of her students, the ins and outs of the Sicilian dragon, the black dragon. And I've yet to be able to use it. Why? You'll find out. So, starts off with E4. I'm not actually going to say the move order. To be completely honest, I'm really bad at the number thing. Call it dyslexia. We did these in incredibly fast succession. Oh, one last thing before I actually get into this, because why not? So this is the third game that I played. The first two, I played all black. I played the Sicilian. First guy, within 1 second, abandoned. Second guy, within about 8 seconds, abandoned. And it was just enough to give me 15 points. Anyway, I don't know if something happened or if they were just like, fuck the Sicilian, I'm not doing that shit. I don't know. Anyway, so let's go back. So E4, I play C5, Sicilian. He goes typical, knight F3. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like, cool. I'm going to play knight C6. Now, prior to this, I was playing F6, thinking that that was a good move because I think somewhere I found out that it was. actually, that may not be a good move. I don't have the engine on or anything. It might be. A lot of people do this afterwards. And I think that just kind of runs around the board. I mean, people like, they start doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're starting to fuck up your your pawn structure. I don't know. That's not what happened. I played this. I played c6. I'm pretty sure, as it says the old Sicilian variation. Interesting. So maybe this has been debunked. Maybe it's just not as good as something like this. I think in this position, I probably could play the accelerated dragon. Kingside fianchetto variation. In my head, it was fianchetto. So it says the reti opening. So maybe this isn't the accelerated dragon. I thought it was. I'm pretty sure I could have played this. Didn't. Instead, I played that. Okay, so, oh god, it's so fast. So, yo dude plays this boy. Again, it still says it's the old Sicilian variation. I've never heard that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the same move order as the Roy Lopez? I confuse it. Do I need to know that? I don't know. I know that's a move, and I know that's a move, usually. But, whatever. So, yeah. Bishop C4. He's targeting my F7 pawn. And that's some bullshit. He's also owning up these D5s. I'm talking like I fucking know what I'm talking about. This D5 square. And this E5 square. Because the Sicilian really likes these squares, mer and mer, right? Because he's trying to take the center, but he's trying to flank that e4 pawn. So this dude is trying to take this up. I mean, it's a book move. He made it very, very quickly. We have no increment. This is 3 seconds in. Okay? So was he thinking? I don't know. Did he know about the Sicilian? I don't know. At this point, I had no fucking clue what I'm going to do. I am aware, though, that once I move, which is what I did, to e6, I'm kind of sort of not allowed to fianchetto with g6, f7. Apparently, according to Anna Cramling, I'm going to throw her under the bus. Once you play e6, you're kind of done. You don't do the g6 anymore. My little mnemonic device for this is goddamn is what you want. Goddamn. That's G6 and D6 are fine. But G6 and E6 are not fine. Why is that? You should check out her video. I could attempt to regurgitate what she said, but why would I? Her video is way better than what my attempt would be, and there you go. Just go watch her fucking video. All right. So I played e6. I do this. I only win a few of these games. I might as well do one of these things. And I've never actually gone through it like this, but I'm going to do it right now. I do this because I'm trying to fuck up his bishop, man. And my idea is to push d5. Because he's refusing to push d4 so I can take him. Right? So my idea is, hey, what's up? I'm going to do that. He's going to take with his pawn. I'm going to take with my pawn. We're going to have a pawn thing. He's probably not going to take with the bishop, because then I would take with my queen. Instead, he's going to fuck off somewhere else with his bishop. Wherever that might be. Maybe there to pin my king. Whatever. And, yeah. I'm going to be in that position, having freed up my shit. I would probably do something like, hey, what's up with my bishop? Let me just play that out. Never mind, I'm not going to do that. Oh, yeah, he gets a turn. Whatever. Not doing it. Okay, so this is what I do. I do e6. Boom. Oh, and everything. Why does it happen so fast? Plays knight c3. Yeah, that's a buck move. I mean, he's just taking up more of the center. I play this. I play d6. Now, my idea here is I am trying to develop black, but I'm also not trying to initiate this exchange because now it doesn't work. I don't think. Would it? Had I gone to d5, take, what would I do? Take. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. So I go to d6. The engine is saying I could, at this point, have gone to g6. I'm sorry, f6 with my knight. Now, I didn't do that because had I done it, I fear that would have happened. So let me use my words. Had I gone knight f6 at this point, I'd have been in that situation where pawn to e6 happens, threatening my fucking knight. I don't want some of that bullshit. At this point, I could go, boom, over to d5, but wouldn't I just get taken? And then taken? And then taken? Isn't that what would have happened? Wouldn't I have lost a piece? Right? Or a pawn? Because we would trade knights, and then I'd lose a pawn. Interesting. I think I may have just realized something. It could be obvious, but I think maybe I just realized it. One of the things that gets me about exchanges is I'll be like, wait a minute, who's up the exchange? Now, I know obviously, just like arithmetic, you add, you subtract, it's obvious, right? But I get confused by that shit because I'm an idiot sometimes. I wonder if the last piece is the last piece taken is the piece that is the sort of out piece. So, for example, let's say I were to move my knight to d5, right? So then let's say he took on d5. So I've lost a knight. Boom. I take his knight, bitch, with my pawn. Take d5. So we're equal now. Boom. He takes my pawn. So, and that's as far as we can go. He's up the exchange because he got the pawn. I can just say, maybe there's some brain laziness I can do. Maybe it was knight, bishop, okay, I take with the pawn, bam, knight. Still, the pawn's the last thing that went. That's the last thing that went. Ergo, it's the last thing that went. It makes sense in my brain. If it doesn't make sense to you, okay. All right. So next. Yeah. Wait. What happens here? He pushes the pawn. Where do I go? That doesn't make sense. Knight to d5 doesn't make sense. I could go over here. I could go back to home. I could pop up to this bitch to e4. That would just lose the knight. The engine wanted me to do this. I could go over to g4. But I feel like I'm just going to get run around. What I did was d6. It says a move would have been g6. I'm sorry, f6. I don't think I understand why that's a good move. Let's say I do it. What does it say? It says he should go bishop b5, which is here. But I don't think the dude would do that. I think he'd push on e5. I'm pretty sure. Now, what should I do? Is there some threat that I'm just not seeing here? As in some threat that I could do. It says d5. Bam. Okay, this is above my pay grade. So let's say he pushes on e5. Sorry about the clicks, by the way. I know that I click when I talk. Sinuses. Okay. He's threatening my knight. I want to move it, but there's no good place for it. Instead, since he's lost a defender, now the exchange might work. Boom. And that bishop is powerful. It's worth more, I guess, than the knight, because the knight, I can activate the queen. Interesting. Let's say he took. I'd be like, okay, boom, he's still under attack. Interesting. It actually says don't take with the queen. Okay, I'm wrong. So I guess at this point, if he takes with the pawn, takes my knight, I just take the bishop. This happens, that happens. I get a fucked up situation on my king side, but technically I'm just being ketoed without a pawn. Huh. It's ugly. Okay, so don't be afraid to put the knight on f6 in this situation, because he pushes up with the pawn. It's a bit of a mistake. It doesn't actually help him too much. I can push with d5, and if I can get a hold of that bishop, I'm not gonna. Now what? I've got my d5 pawn going. I could push if I want. I could just move my knight to an outpost. That might be okay. What does the engine say to do? Knight d7. Back. I could push back. Unpinning other knight and double attacking the pawn. Sexy. That's not what I do. I instead move to d6. He castles. Fine. Okay, now I do my knight f6. Son of a bitch. He pushes finally the d4. I think it wants me to take the d4 pawn. Yeah, it does. I instead guard my knight because I was afraid of him pushing e5. Didn't need to be afraid. Didn't know that at the time. Would have been better to just take and essentially just do what the Sicilian does with tempo on his c knight. That would have been pretty sexy. I didn't do that though. Where would he go? I mean, he's got knight maneuver out, but then I could just a6 him. It says bishop bishop e7. So now it wants the bishop e7. Interesting. So I think bishop e7 is a fine move that I pulled. It's just I had a better move, which was why not take the e4 pawn and just get away with it. Okay, I missed that. Son of a bitch. He keeps on doing that. And then going all the way back. Okay. Boom, he pushes. That was a bad move. When he did this, I wondered, it's like he's been playing so fast. Like I'm in under 8.5 minutes. He's at over 9.5 minutes. Dude's playing super fast. His name is 107 Page. 107p. How does someone get that name? Where is he from? Indonesia. What does 107p mean? Does it mean something in Indonesian? Is it random? I don't get it. Someone help. All right. I am so tired right now. Don't worry about it. I'll be tired for you. So he pushes e5. He should have used his d4 pawn to take my c5 pawn. Now, that could have just been a better move. It could have also just prevented me from taking with c5 his d4 pawn. I think that's it. Instead, he pushes, makes a pawn break into my impregnable defense. Two moves happen at the same time. Okay, I am scared for my knight, so I piece the fuck out with it. White has a huge advantage now. A +1.5, essentially. Huh. So I didn't play that well. That, I believe, the question mark is a mistake. Like a hard, you just didn't do it right. So I could have taken. I'm guarding this square with my knight. Huh. Okay, so let's say I take. Now what does it suggest I do? It wants D to take E. There we go. Now I got to move back, right? Bishop D7, or knight D7. Okay. So it just wants that exchange. I think the issue is when I move back this way, he could just take it. Okay. But see, I calculated this. I thought I was going to take it with my bishop because I'm short-sighted. I think he could come in with his knight. And that's why it's bad. Is it knight? This wants D5. Okay. It wants me to move over here to E5 with my knight. But I think, no, I can see moving to D4 would be bad because he would just take it. He would be up a pawn. So if I move to E5, there's D takes E6. So he just gets a shitload of pawns and fucks up my entire structure. Yeah. So knight takes C4, which is the bishop. Surely he takes my my knight for check. I take with the queen. And am I down right now? Actually, I'm not down, but I do have the bishop pair. But my king is exposed and uncastled. Boom, he rooks me. And king moves to F8. Huh. I wonder why I wouldn't block with the bishop. Oh. Well, I mean, I might lose the queen. There's probably some kind of weird fork. Let's say I block with the I could block with, no, I can block with the bishop this way. Oh yeah, it's like you're going to lose the fucking game at this point. Knight D5. Yeah, I dig it. I dig. Okay, so there's just too much pressure coming with this battery of the rook and the queen. Gotta look for this pattern. As in, I need to look for this pattern. The knight's coming to attack the E7, and that's no good. So I just need to get the king out of dodge. Okay, going back to the real game. We both missed moves here. So I was like, oh shit, my knight, huge miss. I should have taken care of the threat. Meaning, just calculate, let's say he takes something. I can move back at this point. But he doesn't have a strong center anymore. Okay. Instead, I moved back early, which was actually potentially a fatal mistake. So he takes. This is saying he should just take already. It might be the same situation, but I don't think so. D5. No, actually it is kind of the same situation. Knight D4. Where's D4? Can he still fuck me up? Yeah, he can still fuck me up. And my king side is fucked. Yeah. So he had the upper hand here. My middle game was kind of shit. And it all began with not realizing that his center is fucking strong and I need to deal with it. Boom. Still need to deal with it. Don't. even at this point, he could have had a huge advantage. Now, I took back. It's like, don't do that. Lock down this pawn who's hanging out. Get his bishop out of dodge. What does his bishop do? Bishop to d3. Where's d3? This weird pawn, I'm assuming I take it. No, it says knight kills. C or e5. This happens. Exchange, exchange. And now what? Bishop e3. Getting out of the line of danger. I'm sure I take c5 now. What happens if he pushes on b4 instead? Oh, if that happens, then I probably trade knight and bishop. Actually, it says no. It says go a5. Threaten that bitch. Threaten the weak pawn. I like that. So let's say he's like, I'm going to protect this pawn. I'm like, cool. Do that. Bam. Because this a5 pawn is very protected with the queen and the rook. And if he moves this guy, then his whole plan goes to shit. So maybe he moves his other pawn. This says f4. So it's just a moving. I noticed the computer does this, which is probably a great move or a great strategy. If shit's going down on one side of the board, go to the other side. So it's going to get after my knight. In this position, I would probably push my a3 pawn, bolstering this guy. But that'd be bad, because once I take, and he takes, then this happens. And that ain't good. That ain't no good. So don't do that. All right. What did we actually do? What we actually did was I took his fucking pawn, which was a good move, not the best move. He moved his bishop to e3. Should have moved his queen, though, to hook up his rooks, I'm assuming. I take his goddamn pawn, because I don't give a fuck. If I remember correctly, a lot of exchanges happen now. He takes with his bishop. That seemed like a bad move. I took back. It says I should have just taken his queen. Oh God, it happened so fast. He takes with his queen, should have moved it out of the way. I take with my goddamn knight. It says I should have taken with my king. Because when I take with my knight, and I saw this, I relinquish my e5 pawn, which is probably a very powerful pawn. Why? It's in the center, and it's the only fucking knight or pawns that are in the center. So give up the castle privilege. He probably checks me next. No. The computer says go e4. This dude would have definitely checked me. I would have blocked with my bishop. Right? No, it says e7. Fuck you. Boom. Get your king involved, dude. Queens are off the board. Protect everything. And get your rooks involved. Whoops. Okay. Remember this. I take back. He moves with his knight. I move my bishop to attack the pawn on b2. It wants me to keep the line on his king. And also not get taken. Okay, exchange. I castle to get my king out of dodge and avoid forks and checks, which is what I was fearing with this knight. Instead, it wants me to push my knight there and protect my pawn. I don't do that. I say, fuck that pawn. He takes it. Now I'm going to attack his shit. He moves back, but not far enough. I attack him again. Forking his shit. Now here's a question that I had at the time. In this position, my knight has forked the rook and the bishop. Obviously the idea being to go after the bishop. after he moves the rook. Now, I saw that he could just protect that shit with his rook, but I could also just take it. But I didn't want to do that. Okay. Should I take the bishop or not? I did not take the bishop. Instead, my idea I did a shitty thing. My idea was to push a6, then b5. Getting an idea on a start on the queen side, and also putting pressure on his rook and his bishop at the same time. This wants me to instead develop my bishop, taking up these squares on the queen side, and being able to connect my rooks, and also potentially gaining the c file. It's better. I'm assuming that's what it was wanting. I don't do that. Better move would have been bishop d7. I move a6. Okay. He should have forked me. Wow. Interesting. I did not see. He could have forked me back, getting my pawn and my bishop. My bishop has kind of nowhere to go. Could have gone there. He'd take my pawn. And this pawn is weak. I could move my rook over, but it would just be a rook exchange. Well, would it? Let me just play that out really quick. Yeah, it would. Nah. Yeah, all this looks bad. Okay. So, playing some bad moves. Interesting. I was focused on this bishop, this rook, this pawn, and the fact that he's got a weak pawn here and a weak pawn on b2. This is saying, hey, remember, this knight can move to d6. And if he does, get a fork, mister. Now, let's say he moves to d6. If he does, this wants me to kill something. Oh, right, kill the bishop. Well, I mean, at this point in the game, I'm just saying in the event his knight is on d6, what does it affect? Technically, it protects the bishop, but, I mean, he loses the bishop, which is maybe more powerful at this point. Am I up? No. Let's say I take and he takes. It doesn't want me to take. D3. Oh, take the rook. Fuck, of course. Of course. Anyway. Okay. I'm getting sidelined. Okay. He moves back. I attack him. He goes there. I go a 6. It's not a good move. Not a blunder, but it's not good. I should move my knight instead of bolstering there. Am I doing this just to protect my bishop? Am I doing it to gain the d4 square? It goes to d1 to protect. I think that's the idea, the d4 square. It wants e5 now. So yeah, it's all about the d4 square. See, I'm not thinking about this at this point. I'm thinking about these pieces. I'm thinking about where they can go and what the immediate threat or 2 is. Maybe 3. The computer's thinking about these squares and what are you controlling? Okay. Yeah. So we're going. He comes down, attacks. I move my shit away and attack his pawn. And I think he just starts making some random moves. I attack with the rook. It wants me to attack with the other rook. Okay. When to attack with this rook or the one closest to my king. It wants the other one because there's this backwards pawn And at some point, I'm assuming he could just push his pawns and take it with the bishop. I'm thinking that's what it is. But I don't do that. He takes, and I fucking take his rook. Huh. Not sure exactly what he was thinking here. I think he got honed in on this square and getting some kind of like, let's say I was like, I don't know, I did some move, like this move. He could check, I'd have to move. He could, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he could come here. I'm not really sure what he was thinking. Anyway. So all this happens. I just take a shit. Interesting. This is just a good move. Moving my rook over would be better. The reason I didn't make the obvious back row mate moves is because I didn't want him to see me making the obvious back row mate moves. I did have it in my head. Right. So we maneuver around. He goes after my pawn. I take his fucking pawn. I think he realizes his king needs to get out, but he could just move his pawn and this would be solved. And I don't have a bishop anymore. And my shit, well, actually, what am I talking about? He moves his king to protect his bishop. But that's a fatal mistake, because I'm going to do this. He's forced with his bishop. Interesting. Oh, I moved my rook to e8, trying to lock down the e file. He could have blocked with his rook. Is there any other move for him to do? Oh yeah, of course. Protect the bishop, man. Yeah, and now my entire attack is fucked. I'd have to go after his pawns, I guess. Yeah. All right, well, instead of doing this prep move, which doesn't work, I should just take it. Then he moves out. Now where do I go with my rook? B1. Attacking his pawns. So my dream of the back row mate only was possible because he made this move there. And that's all she wrote. In this entire thing, he used 2.5 minutes. I'll give it to this guy. This dude played like really fast. And he didn't play as well as I did. Obviously, I won. But, I mean, he had like 2 blunders, like a blunder or 2. But barring those blunders, I mean, he didn't really develop. He's down. He played worse. Obviously, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I played such terrible games before. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's the game I just played, and I was thinking about playing another one, but Lord Almighty, I'm tired. It's nearly 6 in the morning. Ladies and gents, and everyone else. Maybe I should say everyone. Ladies and gents is just old-timey. Everyone and everything. Thank you for showing up. And all that goodness. Have a good day. I'm going to bed. Here's some music to get you through in the event you need it. This is called Let's Go by the Intrepid Adventurers. Like and subscribe.